The woman that inspires me is my granny. She is 82 years old. She still cooks, cleans, drives, walks at least 5 miles every day just to stay in shape. And she's the backbone of my family. She's actually the glue that holds it all together. She was the strongest person I know.
Okay, so when I think of women that inspire me, I definitely have to mention my grandmother. She had four sisters, got married and had children, and then decided to go back to school. Got a master's degree and ended up becoming a professor of African American studies.
My mother was the woman that inspired me in my life. She was a beautiful lady. Unfortunately, she did pass away about 8 years ago, but she inspires me every day in spirit. She was a great mother. She was a wonderful companion, friend, just everything. And I do miss her very much. And I wish that she was here to continue to lead and guide me along the right path, even when I decide I want to get off of it.
So, the most influential women in my life are my mother and my grandmother. My mother is most influential because she was a young mom raising me. So I just watched her just struggle along the way, but always show strength.
So when I think about International Women's Day, and what all it stands for, a lot of times we talk about women who have made really great strides on a large international front. But I wanted to share my story. It's about my grandmother. Her name is Blanche Johnson, and she's in her 90s now. A couple of years ago, I had a chance to get to know my grandmother on a one-on-one, woman-to-woman base. And she was telling me this story about this time when she really stood up for herself in her professional life. So my grandmother has been a domestic worker all of her life. When you think of the movie The Help, that's pretty much like my grandmother can relate to that story. It was very important to her that her work was just top-notch, above none, all the time. And so she knew she did very good work and she expected to be paid appropriately. She was networking with her friends and she found out that she could double her salary if she went to another location. She was very happy with the family she was working with, so she went to the lady of the house and she explained the situation. After thinking about it, the lady of the house declined, and my grandmother made the very courageous decision to leave her job and go search for another job. And you leave one job not knowing if you have another job, but she knew her worth. And she knew that her great work deserved to be compensated fairly. And so she did just that. She left working for that family. She got a job with another family cleaning their house, and she made double her salary.
I have a fabulous story to tell, but when it comes to women that inspire me, I think of my mother. She's a very strong woman. During the time of me growing up, she held down 3 jobs. She showed me what it is to be a single parent and all the things that she had to go through as far as making sure that I was taken care of.
So the woman who inspires me is my Aunt Elaine Pell. She is in Antigua and she raised me from when I was really small. She is inspirational because she is a strong, confident, self-assured, but yet positive role model to both myself and her community. She has worked to organize girl events, women events, and mentored in the community down in Antigua. She has raised myself, a cousin, and her own son, and she has taught me how to be independent, how to be strong, how to be an amazing support to friends and family, and she inspires me in everything I do on a daily basis.
Okay, the woman who inspires me the most is my mother. She always told me to make the best of a bad situation and look for the good in people. There are others who are less fortunate or have it way worse. Also, be patient with those that upset or disappoint you. Try to help when you can, even if you're there just to listen.
The person that inspired me the most was a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Tessa Basford, and I lost her a year ago to colon cancer. Tessa was just an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. She was on city council for the city of Woodstock. She was president of the PTA. She was president of the Homeowners Association. She had a beautiful daughter, Katie. Tessa could see humor and light in everything. Tessa was diagnosed with stage 4, very advanced colon cancer. Not through the typical means. She was diagnosed by her annual physical with her GYN. She had tried everything, absolutely everything. But Tessa's sense of humor was such that what people don't know about me is I also have cancer. I had a bone marrow transplant coming up on 2 years ago. Tessa was funny. She would go, Kim, let's compare port scars just to see who had the biggest one or the smallest one or the one that went away the quickest. I went into remission before I had a bone marrow transplant. I'll never forget the day when I was sitting in the oncologist office getting chemo for the 3rd time, and Tessa walked in. She saw me sitting there, and she just busted out into tears and said, Kim, what are you doing here? Tessa fought to the very, very end. She was strong up until a week before she passed. She was traveling and doing things with her daughter. She was the consummate friend, the consummate mother. She was everything to a lot of people. I miss her so much. I wish she was here. At her funeral, I think what got me the most a couple of her neighbors came up to me and said, Kim, you have no idea how much it upset Tessa that she saw you that day at chemo. I lived through chemo. I survived. My friend Tessa didn't. On paper, I was much worse off than she ever was. And I made it and she didn't, and I miss her. She was such an inspiration to just keep moving and keep going. She never had the defeatist attitude. She fought up until a week before she passed. And she inspires me every day.